that, and let's also go like this for a screen share. Come on. I believe in you, Discord. I know, I'm making you do a lot of things at once. Okay. Um, yeah, just directly to you. That would be perfect. And everything else would be nitro. So we're capped at 30. That's fine. Okay, can you see my screen?
Yep, I can see it.
Okay. Do you mind if I record this session? It's possible I'll turn it into a video. If you do
Oh,
mind.
definitely, sure.
Okay, cool,
Yeah,
cool.
no problem.
Okay, then let's go ahead and get this going. So let's start by having you tell me how is your comp expected to win? What type of comp do you have? You don't know what comp they
Well,
have yet, but what's going through your mind right now?
I was thinking, so Nano, I would probably look for a whole hog or Sigma flex.
Okay. Yeah, you don't
Yeah,
have great nano targets, it's true.
yeah.
But those are valid. Uh,
Other than that, I'm the main heel, so I just keep everyone alive. Play less aggressive.
um, I don't know about that because you don't know this yet. And so that's fine right now, but in about 20 seconds, you're going to know the enemy comp, right? And if this is the enemy comp
Yeah.
that they run out with, is anyone in that is anyone in that group going to make you self-nade?
Yeah. Well, um, definitely Widow.
No, Widow's just going to kill you. Self-nade
Oh
isn't
yeah,
going to help
yeah.
you against Widow.
Well, it's Gold Widow, so
Okay, maybe, but
yeah. Um, I don't know. Maybe if I get hit by a random Junkrat thing,
a random
I'll.
Junkrat thing. Okay.
I don't really know.
So
Yeah.
the
I.
answer I'm looking for here is mostly no. You shouldn't be in a
Yeah.
situation because there's no like Tracer or Ball or
Right.
Genji or
Right.
anyone like that to really harass you that would
Yeah.
encourage you to have your nade to save yourself. To save
Right.
yourself. So instead, they're mostly looking to play a poke game with you. They've got Sigma, who's a
Mhm.
poke tank. They've got Widow, who's a poke hero. Junkrat, shield break poke hero, and Hog, who likes to play poke as well. So they're going to be looking to play angles and poke you down. They shouldn't ever really be in a place where you can't immediately close the angle if you take damage to stop yourself from taking more damage, right?
Mhm.
So
Mhm.
since that's the case, Lucio should have plenty of time to come heal you up, or you should be able to grab a health pack, or you should be able
Yeah.
to wait the 3 seconds to get a fresh nade. So be ready or be potentially looking for can you hit offensive nades against a comp like this? Like you go for
Okay.
more offensive nades when you have to worry about healing yourself less. And you have to worry about healing yourself a
Mhm.
little bit more than you would with other supports simply because Lucio isn't likely to spend a ton of time babysitting for you against a poke cop. Like it's easier to get a Harmony Orb or a Mercy to come back, or it's easier to get other
Mhm.
supports to heal you than Lucio. Um,
Mhm.
but you can be a little more aggressive with your nade and you can contribute a little more like that. That's it. Maybe you do a ton of that, so let's watch and find out.
Okay.
I can live with this positioning. Okay, that's different. Is it unhappy? I might be having to do too many things at once. Okay.
Yeah,
That's
it's a
fine.
little lagging.
That's fine. I'll do some things too. So, they're unfortunately not playing in a great spot for you. Kings Row in general, you want to be playing. Oh, I don't have my Epic Pen open, so that's fine. Let's go like that. Kings Row in general, you would love your tanks to play about where Sigma is playing, and you could then
Mhm.
heal Sigma kind of actually from back right side of phone booth was just fine, or even back here,
Mhm.
etc. You being up here means, hey, they can widow you to death, etc. anytime your Sigma shield is not right here and your Sigma's going to have to move around to shield, etc. So that's not your fault because your Hog is forcing you to play up there, but just be aware
Right.
that's not optimal support positioning for this map.
Yeah. Yeah.
and you instantly naded yourself. And again, that angle's pretty closed. They can't really follow up on you, so you potentially can let your Lucio deal with coming and healing you, rather than just instantly popping it on yourself here. Sorry, I'm trying to get over to my Epic Pen to make that download available thing go away, but it is just not going to play nice, is it?
Yeah,
No,
well, I see everyone's pretty healthy, so I just popped it right away.
yes, but nade is an even better offensive tool than it is defensive
Yeah,
one. But yes,
It
yes.
is. I can't really peek at this, like.
Well,
angle
your peak would
with it.
actually generally be through hotel on this one, because you're right. If you throw from where they're already looking, where your team is, it doesn't really work. You've sort of already got two angles because you've got your McCree and your May over to the left of statue, plus you're here, so they're paying some attention to your McCree group, which means you can potentially throw it over the shoulder of your Sigma and get some value.
Mm-hmm.
But
Yeah.
I'm harping on nades, and we haven't really gotten to nades yet. Let's see a little more of what we've got.
Yeah, my offensive nade is not great.
Yeah, that's fine.
It's just a scratch. You'll be fine.
Check the Reaper. Take a shot at him. Okay. Good.
Yeah, I'm actually dueling with the McCree, so we had calm.
Perfect. You don't want to look at that window even remotely. Good.
Yep.
Are you aware if anything's coming through hotel?
I didn't hear anything,
Yeah, that's fine.
so
I just want to know if you're aware. I mean, we can see now in replay that there wasn't, but you didn't need the nade for that.
Just a scratch. You'll be fine.
That nade's better. It's a defensive nade, but you had multiple people who were near critical.
Go to sleep. You're going to be okay.
Nicely done. Keep this angle closed. You're too low health.
yeah.
Nope, don't run up like this. Yeah.
Yeah, I tried to nade, like.
Yeah, I know what you were going for, but
Yeah, it was
it
risky.
becomes a risk not
especially-
worth it type thing.
yeah. Right.
Okay. I would have preferred you to get an offensive shot or two into that Sigma by now. That wasn't his shield that was in the way, that was your shield, so you could shoot through that. And even just a little bit of damage from you helps check threats, etc. You know, someone who's at full health acts pretty, not recklessly, but pretty aggressively. Someone who's lost even 20-30% of their health tends to play quite a bit different, be less aggressive, which
Right.
means they're going to put less damage into you. So, you know, you had a window there where no one on your team really needed your heals. No one in your sight anyways. Some people to the right of Hotel may have, but screw them, who cares? And by that, I mean, you don't want to be putting yourself in more danger when there's already something that has a threatening angle on you. So
Right.
push him back before you come out more into the open to go heal people who might need help over there. And
Yeah.
okay,
I
go ahead.
I called my McCree said Sigma's on high ground, contest them. So
That's good.
yeah.
That's,
So I nade and hope he can contest him.
yeah, no, and that's really good. And I was fine with the nade. I probably would have, you know, the nade is fine, but I still think you could have got a shot or two at him if you hit him
Yeah,
great.
probably,
And
yeah.
then he probably would have backed up a little, and he would have been backing up while looking at you. And, you know, McCree flashes him in the back and fans him. Like, you're making him think about, oh shit, there's threats in multiple directions. What do I do? Like, Overwatch is mostly about how many and how big angles can you get at this point in the game's lifespan. Cool.
Yeah.
Get your powered up. Get in there.
Okay, that nano's acceptable. Yeah, so that's unfortunate.
Yeah, my team's just getting rolled here.
Well, they are, but if that Sigma had been missing, what do you do, 60 shot? If that 60 had been missing 120 health, or if you'd hit the nade on the Sigma, maybe it wouldn't have been. You know,
Right.
it's
Probably, yeah.
it's, you know, like, yes, they're getting rolled,
I have
but you're part of this team.
Yeah. I'm not really flanking them. Just,
Yeah, no, I'm not suggesting that you are. I'm just
yeah.
but we all have a natural tendency to have our egos sort of go, well, they're messing up, but I'm doing fine. And you are doing fine, but you could have done better without doing, extreme flick shots, etc. So
Yeah.
it's important to be like, okay, well, what can I do better realistically?
You feel better.
التكرار يعلم الشطار.
You're not going to make it in time. Get out. You're going to feed ult charge without stalling point. Good. So that peak there was bad. Like, I know it seems like, oh, not a big deal, etc. But the reason that peak is bad is you don't know how many people are going to come up with him. Like, it was just him, and that's nice. But for all you knew, 2 people were about to round the corner, and one of them was Reaper, who was going to teleport right next to you and kill you. Any situation where they just won the fight, so it's just you up here, which means you're potentially in a 1v5, 1v4, 1v3 poke situation, you don't know, but it's an unfavorable poke situation, and if they do kill you, that's a stagger and you don't get to make a hold for quite a bit. So like poking when you're down, especially when you're not a hero with one-shot potential, really isn't worth it. There's exceptions, but those exceptions are going to be like you're at 88% nano and your Genji already has blade, things like that.
Yeah. It was pretty bad. Pretty risky pick.
Oh no. Oh no.
And then,
Yeah. And if your Lucio ints here, it's because he was... So that wasn't your Lucio's fault. Like, yes, of course it was your Lucio's fault. He kept going, etc. But your Lucio came and did work because you were in trouble, and then he tunneled him a little, etc. Exactly. Like, he didn't need to keep going, but you share some blame there.
Right, yes.
And now you're doing it again. Okay, good.
Yeah.
It's fine, keep your fair pocketed. Okay, this is good positioning. You can see left and you can heal mid. Just be aware of that Reaper. Yeah, how'd I know? And you know how I knew, right?
Yeah.
It's like you remember,
right.
wait, there was a... Yeah. So, not a big deal, but you died to a Reaper with Sleep Dart up, which, feels a little bad. You didn't have footsteps or anything, though, but you did have a prior visual cue that he could be coming that way.
Mm-hmm.
So you're walking back up. Your whole team's doing it, but you are poking into... You know you're down, so you're poking into potentially a 5v6. Now 6v4. Keep your hog between them and the enemy. Good. Play in the right hallway. You don't need to go up this close. Your better positioning at this moment is going to be right over here, because the enemy is poking in this direction and they can't help themselves. That is what their sightline is, and if they go for the flank, this is the flank. There's pretty much no way where they get to a place where they can threaten you here. Like, they can hard round the corner, which means all 6 of you can shoot at them, and even if they do hard round the corner and you lose some health, you can close the angle and still heal your BAP and your McCree, and they can do absolutely nothing to you. Got it?
Yeah.
Cool.
Yep.
I like your nade. I like that your nade was on the hog, but was a little ahead of your hog, so that if someone rounded the corner, they'd turn purple, and they did turn purple. You didn't actually get your hog, but I liked the nade that you were trying for there, and I don't care that you mechanically messed it up. Okay, you heard Reaper. He's to your top right, right? That's always where he is.
No.
Okay. That's not.
Yeah.
If you heard that, because that was his shadow step, so I would have expected and you didn't check for it, that he had just gone right there, and you were standing right here, right? So just, you might want to do the, wait, I know that sound effect, let me check, etc. type thing.
Mm-hmm.
Cover. Where's your cover? There's things to your right. That's where their current spawn is. Yeah.
My ultimate is almost ready. You're powered up. Get in there.
So you can also throw your sleep dart out pretty effectively if you know where their Reaper is, right? If you don't know where their Reaper is, you probably want to keep that to protect yourself. But if you know where their Reaper is, like you did right there, you can throw your sleep dart out. You have two aggressive abilities that you can use here instead of just the nade. Or just the nade and nano.
I'm on fire. Keep out of my way. You're going to be okay.
So did you hear it?
No.
Okay.
I didn't.
But did you hear it during the replay at least?
I don't know. Maybe I did. I don't
Okay.
know. Like,
Okay.
yeah.
That's the sort of thing where it's like, that means there is suddenly a Reaper somewhere on a flank. And you gotta be like, okay, now I have to, do the occasional pivot, go see where things are, etc.
Yeah.
I am determined to... It's just not gonna let me get to that Epic Pen thing, and that's gonna drive me nuts. Okay, I guess we don't care about the update.
Watching your back. Get in. You're going to be okay.
Fat nade opportunity that you missed there. We're gonna get back to it.
Yeah, I see it, but like, I don't think there's any follow-up damage though.
Let's take a look.
You're going to be okay.
So there might not be follow-up damage. Your hog might do something into it. Your BAP might do something into it, and it also might. It won't, but it might save your Sigma. So like, it's worth the nade. I think like. I'd say 9 out of 10 times that's worth throwing the nade into. If you're hyper aware of the Reaper that's up there, maybe not, but I think your hog has already done a decent job of checking that Reaper, and I don't actually think he's there anymore. Well, he is. Okay, fine. He should be. That means... Go ahead.
I think I didn't react to that like Sigma. I should have thrown the nade, but I don't think I react fast enough.
Sure. And if your Sigma was in better health shape, you generally react with the sleep dart,
I would
right?
Definitely, yeah.
Because it's the hog is hooking someone, just instantly sleep him, etc. But because he's already so low health, the nade is the only chance you've got.
Right. That was my first shot, and then he died right away.
Yep.
I tried to nade, but it wasn't fast enough.
All good. As long as you know what to do, even if you're a little slow in getting there or your mechanics can't do it, it's okay. As long as you know what to do, you'll keep trying and you'll get to the point where you can.
Oh my god.
So I wouldn't have you were turning for an offensive shot there, and I don't dislike it. I think you should be going for a couple more offensive shots than you are. But the thing is, I know that there's 6 of them alive and 3 of you alive, so I know that you never were actually going to have a chance to turn off of your Sigma there. You follow what I'm saying? So like, you just had to be tunneling heals. You can even tunnel preemptive heals into your Sigma because there's 6 people looking at him. So you could be going, okay, I was zoomed, now I'm going to unzoom and start throwing projectiles at him because they have a little bit of travel time, and if your Sigma's already full health, he'll have taken the damage by the time they get there in this, 6v3 situation where he's the only one in line of sight. And you can throw it. Yeah, there you go. Oh, it was almost brilliant. Okay, so not a bad round. There's definitely more you could have done to help, and your abilities, considering how non-threatening they are to you, I would like to see more ability usage, like we were talking about at the beginning there. But overall, this is this is not by any means a terrible game. Oh, that's right.
Ready for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Attackers incoming.
Okay, so tell me now, even though you don't yet know this, with how your comp is set up and how their comp is set up, how are you looking to take fights? How is your team looking to win fights? Is the better question.
Well, I would probably nano monkey.
Okay, so Nano
Yeah.
Monkey is your best setup in this situation. I agree. That's your primary nano target. But more generally, if we look at your team composition, in terms of how is this team looking to win fights as a whole, not just you as Anna, you're part of a team,
Mhm.
but how is this team as a whole looking to win fights versus how is
Well-
this team looking to win fights? Or are they both looking to win fights the same way?
I think well, I have to keep Diva alive for most part because she can turn around a fight pretty easily.
Okay, so that would be referring to like what's the most overtuned hero or who's got the most carry potential as an individual player. And we could go that route, but I'm actually looking more generally. There's kind of three ways to play Overwatch compositions roughly. You can brawl,
Mm-hmm.
and that's like what Goats was or like what Reaper May comps are, etc. There's
Oh, yeah.
Dive, which is okay, you get, Winston over here, a Diva over here,
Mhm.
a Tracer over here, and a Genji over here, and you go in like that. And there's Poke, where you're going, okay, we have lots of range damage. Maybe our Widow's going to peek a corner and one-shot your Mercy. And you look at your Widow,
Uh-huh.
and then our Widow's going to unpeek, and our Ashe is going to peek, and she's going to, Mercy boosted one-shot your Zen, or whatever the case may be. Those are like three general ways that
Yeah.
Overwatch gets
Yeah.
played, right? And teams are generally going to only be able to do one or two of those things well, right? Like if you look at
Mhm.
this team, does your team brawl particularly well?
No.
Right, you've
I
got
don't
two
think
dive
so, no.
tanks, and your DPS are mostly both poke DPS. McCree is okay-ish in Brawl, but he's really a poke DPS. Widow's definitely a poke DPS, and your tanks
Yeah.
are dive tanks. So you're in a dive/poke mode, and what that really means when they're like this is your dive tanks are going to herd enemies into line of sight to get poked down by your poke DPS. That's sort of how your team is looking to play, whether they know it or not, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Whereas this team over here, you could call Junkrat Poke or you could call him Brawl. He's a pretty close to medium range hero, but he can poke just fine. He can do pretty well against tanks. You could call him either. This is, again, it's a poke hero that leans a little Brawl, mostly poke, and then this is a poke tank and this is a poke tank. So overall, we're going to call this a
Mhm.
poke team versus a dive poke team. So you're playing for your win condition. So what do you think your win conditions, what do you think your team, how is your team going to win fights? You can either rephrase what I said or you can come up with your own way of saying it. But how do you think your team is looking to win?
I think it really depends on both poke DPS
Okay,
to
that's fair.
to get a pick.
Oh, okay. So it's up to the poke DPS to get a pick. So what's going to help them get picks? One thing would be being alive long and having lots of heals, right? Like if they constantly
Right.
have heals, they can take a little chip damage. They get healed back up when they take damage. They can re-peak sooner and do work. So there's definitely that, but that's sort of the obvious one. What are other things that might help them win in a poke war?
Well, first of all, definitely I'll heal them. Secondly, play more aggressive with my abilities.
Yeah, like so we were just talking about how healing could make a big difference, where if you can heal McCree back up sooner or heal Widow back up sooner, maybe she can poke sooner, or if you heal Winston back up sooner, he can do more shuffling to push a McCree into the open where Widow can get him, etc. And that's true. So if you can do the same thing if you make it so that McCree literally can't get healed because you turn him purple, well, he's missing some health and he's purple, and he can't be healed for a bit, so that either means he's easy to kill or he can't peek, because if he peeks, he's a free kill when he's, purple, low health like
Right.
that, etc.
Yeah.
So that means you're getting a temporary 6v5. So, there are
Yeah.
ways that you can help your team towards its win condition. Now, purple helps you win just about any win condition, but it does change a little bit. Like, if you have a brawl team and you purple them from 50 yards away, that doesn't help. But if you you have a poke team, you can actually use your nade during the poke phase because the poke phase sort of is the real phase when you're playing poke v poke like this. Perfect.
Yeah.
Okay. That was more general stuff, but that is the sort of thing you want to be thinking about. How does our team look to win? How does their team look to win? Because it will influence how you're looking to play, how you're looking to use your ults, all those things there. Okay.
Right.
Regen burst activated. Try to keep yourselves in one piece. I don't mind losing.
Okay, good decision to immediately pocket him. Bap's got himself. So, this isn't a great place to be standing. You kind of feel the need to stand here, right? Because, like, oh, this is the only place I can heal my diva from. And I get that, but your Bap's positioning is a fair bit better than yours. Do you know why?
Yeah. Well, the Junkrat can poke me from there.
Right, and you can't have necessarily known from the get-go that the Junkrat would be over here as opposed to over here, but this is the more common, safer, better positioning in general for their core, so this is the more likely place for Peace to be. 1 or 2 people might be over here, and that just means that they've got a good spread, they've got good off angles, etc., but since this is the more likely angle to go, they can threaten in this direction. Sure, let your tanks walk through this way, but let your tanks take some space for you. You can be healing them at that angle and be protected. And once your tanks have really pushed the fight onto point, you can, go through the corner and then go play from statue and peek from statue on that angle, etc.
Yeah.
Cool.
I'm not very aware of that, like where I position, especially in this case.
Yeah, and it especially matters against poke. This wouldn't matter much at all. Against Brawl, this would be great positioning, right? Because you'd have your whole team that you could heal in front of you, or you'd have your tanks in front of you at least, and their Brawl couldn't get at you. So it's more important that you have line of sight on your meaty tanks if you're playing against a Brawl comp. But against a poke comp like this, your priority becomes, I need to be in 0 to 1 of the opposing enemy's sight lines. I can't be threatened by multiple sight lines, and I'd prefer to not be threatened by their most dangerous sightline, where the majority of them are, etc. Right?
Yeah.
Cool. Widow's just going to win the match for you. It's nice when that happens.
This will only hurt for a minute.
You got a nice nade in there. Your positioning's better now. Okay, so again, you had to turn to heal him, and you did have to do that, but you want to back up a little bit. Your back, once again, has better positioning than you. And what I mean by that is he's over here. I don't necessarily want him here, but I'd like you here. Because if you're here, you can see your Winston that needs to be healed in there, and all this spam from this direction, well, there's a statue in the way. There's a physical object between you and them.
Yeah.
So that's what you want to do. And even though you can't, teleport to be here, I want you to be trying to work your way here as you're healing your Winston in this direction.
Yeah. Yeah.
Cool.
Definitely.
You're going to be okay.
Sleeper. Yeah. Turn to the McCree. Nope. This is fine. This is good even. So this is a place where you have a decision to make. You can go through here because this is the direction your team has primarily gone, and then you can heal through the hotel to heal your team, or you could have peeked right for a second and a half to throw a nade while they're looking at your team. That's a decision that you have to make.
I will keep you here.
Okay.
Yeah, I couldn't nade there because Monkey was not full health.
Oh,
So
yeah.
we just hit the Monkey, yeah.
Oh, yeah. No, I get it. I get it. How are you going to use your nano in this next fight?
Monkey?
Okay.
Yeah.
Anyways.
Well, let's
Probably,
see.
I can't remember.
Okay, that's fine. Let's see if A, it actually gets used in the next fight, and let's B, see if it gets used well on the monkey here. So this is the same angle that I don't like, and you now don't like either, but you didn't know at the time.
You're going to.
Stay here. Stay here. Let your monkey jump in and
Ooh.
nano him, and then take
Yeah.
the space. So what you do is you'd let your team commit from where they are, you'd nano your monkey as he was going in, and then when they have a blue monkey in the middle of them, they won't be able to pay attention to you as you rotate up to where your monkey is now and heal from there, right?
Yeah.
Cool.
Yeah.
I don't love you running. Yeah, you just ran through the open. Your diva wasn't protecting you. Like, that was dangerous.
Let them
Because they were already looking in this direction, the opposing team. Like, you're literally just counting on them to have gold aim or whatever. You know, if you're playing at a higher level, you just
Right,
die
yeah.
there.
Yeah.
You're powered up. Get in there. Hanging up.
So, you used nano on a good nano target, but are you really in this fight?
No, monkey wasn't jumping in.
Yeah, and I don't necessarily care if he's using his ability or not. It's more, does he have a target accessible to him? And the answer right now is no. But if we rewind, maybe he did at the seconds. Let's take one more look.
enemy contact. Let
Yeah, no, he doesn't. It looks like, yeah, he doesn't have anyone accessible.
Yeah,
that's so
well,
scary.
The
Yeah.
hog was right next to me, so I just want to give out nano before I die, probably.
Yeah, but the problem is you've also got to be aware of the kill feed, and what the kill feed tells us, you know, even if we remove the most recent thing, this fight looks unwinnable to me, right? Like
Yeah.
this is over. So I don't want you sitting on nano forever, but you don't want to use nano into we're using all of our ults in this fight and we're losing. So that's a factor
Right.
of our positioning not being good, our engage not being good, because we look at them and they've used one ult and they are overwhelmingly winning this fight where we're using 4 ults. So that's a case if we're trying to brute force it with ults, and ults are downstream of positioning when it comes to making the fight happen. So not a big deal. You
Yeah.
can't control your team's positioning. You can control yours, which we've talked a lot about. But this is a situation where, nope, it's too late. It's too late. This fight is already gone. You'd have been better off preserving your nano.
Yeah.
As
I
well
didn't
as
pay attention to the kill feed.
yeah, it's hard. The kill feed is one of those things that you just get better at paying attention. Like, there's not really a shortcut to the kill feed in terms of learning to track it. It is something that you just get better at over time the more you play. So that'll come somewhat naturally, but do at least be aware that, wait, I should be paying some attention to that. I don't necessarily need to know who's alive and dead yet, but I should have a feel if I saw a lot of red names on the left, it's probably not going our way.
Right. Yeah.
This is junk time. I mean, you're just gonna die. Get out or get on point. Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, okay. I mean, I guess gold things can happen, and our respawn can just wipe them out.
Right.
So
Yeah.
everything I said was wrong, but it's not actually wrong.
Right. Definitely. It's just gold. You know. Yeah.
All good. All good.
This will help.
You can throw a sleep dart in. Yep. I would have thrown the sleep dart at the hog. He was the closer, easier target, and he was the one that you can actually kill if you do hit him. Your team can actually kill if you do hit him, but that's fine.
Right.
A sleep dart down there wasn't worthless because a sleep dart down there, if it hit, did put asleep one of their pokers, so there was less poke on you and Zen as you're trying to help your Winston.
There's a widow up there.
Yep. So you're done. So you're just gonna use this cart as line of sight. You're gonna get widowed. Well, that scared her off. Play phone booth. Or I mean, if you drift hard left, that works too. So actually, let's have you tell me where you should play. Where should you play if you're worried about a widow? Because you did not hit her with the nade, so she'll be right back, and you know that. They are here and can shoot from here. And they are here. Potentially, you know, she can peek here. So where should you be positioned knowing those two things?
Hotel.
Okay, so here's the problem with hotel. Problem with hotel is that door in hotel is death, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
This door in hotel, yeah, this could be fine. It's a pretty long transition. You'd have to like run up while healing your team, use the cart as a shield and your tanks as a shield to get to here, but that's possible. That's not an unreasonable place to go. I don't dislike that, as long as you meant, this part of hotel and not this part. And
Oh
why
yeah.
why is that part? Why? Okay, so that answers the question just fine. You can play from there. I think another good place to play from could have been that. Let's go like that again. I think this could have been okay, where you go, I'm here, and I can, crouch behind this if the Widow comes.
Mhm.
That's not as good as where you were, but it's faster. And this is
Yeah.
potentially okay too. It's not great because team has line of sight on you when they push up like this, but their back line doesn't have line of sight on you. Only their tanks
Right.
do, and their tanks hopefully have your tanks in their face.
I was trying to ego duel this Widow.
Yeah. Oh
I
yeah.
think,
Our
yeah.
Anna's gonna duel the Widow while keeping our team alive. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. That's
Like, yeah, it wasn't great. But
all
yeah.
good. All good.
وليهم قوتك. You're covered. Ultimate is ready. I need healing. I need healing.
Can you get in there to that? Oh. Okay. So I think you probably wanted to nano there, right? That's what you were going for?
Yeah, definitely. I
Okay.
did.
Okay. Just making sure.
I need healing. Healing.
And I do like the slamming of the XG.
Your
You're
power-
trying to tell your Zen to spend a second on you with Harmony, but it's not happening.
You're covered. Die fever.
Wuss. And what I mean by wuss is that's you going, I can't hit the shot, so I'm going to cave and throw the nade. That wasn't actually a good nade. That was you going, I missed on the Hanzo and I'm getting panicky, so I'm just going to nade to crutch for my aim. Even if it,
Yeah,
just settle yourself down, scope if you want, take another shot, etc. Like, even though you might short term lose a couple more matches by doing that, long term, that's way better for you. You just have to
I
be able
didn't
to.
see any nade target, like offensive nade target, so I just naded him.
Well, I
I
mean,
know I missed the shot.
I hear you. Yeah, you did miss the shot, and I don't care that you missed a shot. Just settle yourself down and take another shot. Even if he gets antsy, even if he looks at you and spams, I need healing, settle down and try to hit the next shot. Yeah, like, you're right. There wasn't an offensive nade target at the second that you threw it, but you've got 9 seconds left on cooldown, and wouldn't it be nice to throw a nade up here to check these guys?
Right, yeah.
Or,
Mhm.
hey, Junkrat's, gonna spam a bunch of stuff in here, and you might need to get your Zen and Reinhardt in 3 seconds, 4 seconds from now, and it won't be available, and you didn't really get good value out of it. Like, having a increased healing still available on Hanzo for another couple seconds isn't really a valuable thing.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Left was the better.
Be
So
careful.
technically, left was the better place to go, and then you just shout over comms, I'm zoned, and then Hanzo goes and does this, and then you peek and pocket your Hanzo.
Yeah, I tried to follow the car, because if I go left, I can't really heal anyone.
I know, and that's why you scream over comms, I'm zoned.
Right, yeah.
Like, I get it, but as you get better, you're going to hit a place where you're going to realize that this worked because it was gold and she didn't hit the shot, but you were totally vulnerable as you were walking across here. Like, you were here, it was a longer walk to here, you stayed visible for longer, and she'll just hit that shot. Like, she will in Masters just hit that shot.
Right.
Okay.
I have the
But yeah, this positioning's fine.
You're covered.
You do need to be aware that your Hanzo lost the duel up there, so they can shoot you in the head from top right any second now. They're not going to? Okay, now your Sigma's covering you. You're good again. Well, your Sigma is not covering you, but he means to be.
I didn't know that our Hansel lost the duel. Yeah, if I knew, I would be more aware.
Yep, all good, all good. That's again a kill feed thing where you get there.
Yeah.
Go. I could be here. Healing enough. Nano boost almost ready.
Good. Good. Less Shurats into the hog, more into your run. Okay, good.
Mm-hmm.
Nano boost is ready to deploy.
Yeah, I was asking Ryan to charge the hog, like
Okay.
when the hog was asleep.
Yep.
Yeah, so I didn't.
Yep, that makes sense. You didn't see the flash, but you did, like, there was a moment on your screen where you saw that there was a plus there, and you just missed it, which is fine. It was a Twitch reaction thing, but that was where you wanted to go rather than this Hanzo that was still at fine health. But I'm super being nitpicky right here. Ooh, nice.
You're powered up. Get in there.
That's a good one. You are using your nano defensively pretty often to save people, and I do find that is the least valuable application of it. But I think it's less important than some of the other things we're going to have you work on. Okay, so where should you be positioned now? Or during this, fight while Cart is almost there. And I'll zoom out so that you have a good feel for what sightlines look at. Just tell me where you want to be or where you want to look or you name it.
Maybe around the corner, like just behind me.
This corner?
Yeah,
Why?
maybe. Well, cause I have cover here and I can see them.
You have cover available. You can go like this to close this angle. If there's like a Bastion or something or a Widow from spawn, you can close the angle like this. Or you can actually stand a little bit in the center of the room and both of the spawns are sort of blocked off from having line of sight on you and you can tunnel down and heal your team, right?
Mm-hmm.
Like, this isn't great long term. This is better,
Yeah.
but there's situations where you'd move here to close sight lines.
I tried to play by this door here.
Yep, and this is fine. This is okay, because you can tuck on here. You're just a little more vulnerable if you go out here to heal, say, your Hanzo to the right, than you are if
Right.
you're back here. Because distance is also your friend, because they're going to get into stall mode, and as they get into stall mode, they start moving mobile heroes like Ball. Ball has an easier time getting to you if you're like here than he does if you're all the way back here, and you're Anna,
Right.
so you don't really care if you're all the way back here. You have a scope.
Mm-hmm.
Cool. Tuck. So you heard that Zen charging, and you saw he was looking in your general direction, so you probably should have tucked for the last, half a second
Yeah.
there.
I wasn't aware of Zen's charge. His
Yep.
right click.
Yep. I get it, but you hear in the replay, you could hear it though, right?
Yeah.
Okay. Perfect.
Step rider.
Yeah. Risky feat.
So you were looking for people to heal there, and you just kind of waited because they were purple, and then there was a Winston bubble in the way. And you know how long a purple lasts. You're Anna. You should have a pretty good feel for that. So instead, you should have taken a couple offensive shots, right?
I didn't want to expose my position. Maybe, like, I feel like,
I'm listening.
yeah, maybe they can chase me down really quick if I don't know, if I stay for too long.
I'm gonna re-show it to you just so that we can.
Step rider.
Okay. So they just turned purple.
Mm-hmm.
You're at 5 shots in your clip. You don't have to look this way to go this way. You know that, of course. I'm being nitpicky, but you would like to heal them. It is obvious that you would like to heal them. If you were tucking because you heard the Winston leap, that would be one thing. If you think he's leaping at you, I can tell from that angle that he's not. But we're also watching this with pauses and at half speed. So if you thought that specifically was what you were dodging, or this
I think
Junkrat,
I see the monkey. I see
okay.
the monkey.
Okay, that's
Yeah.
fine. Like, if you saw that moment where the Junkrat was looking right at you, or you thought that monkey was coming for you, tucking was okay. But now that we know that that's not the case, you should turn and shoot the Junkrat twice. Because you know you've still got 2 shots worth of time before you can heal your teammates. And B, the monkey is dropping a bubble, so even if they turn unpurple, there's a good chance they'll still be in the bubble and you can't really help them. So
Yeah, they still die.
right.
Yeah.
So your meaningful contribution, you're just not going to be able to contribute for the next, what does an Ana-shot take? 0.8, 0.9 seconds. So you're not going to be able to contribute for the next 1.7 seconds, and that's 2 shots worth of time. Pretty much, you're not going to be able to contribute to that monkey Hanzo McCree engagement. So instead of going, oh, well, maybe I'll reload, maybe I'll close the angle. Closing the angle and reloading is like the next best thing you could do. But the best thing you could do is shoot this Junkrat twice.
Yeah, I think sometimes I heal bot like a lot of time. I don't really play offensive, which I really should.
You will
sometimes.
hard cap in diamond. Like, obviously you can force your way past diamond, but if you're really playing Ana as a healer, you're gonna really struggle to get past diamond without very high GM level mechanics just saving you, if that makes any sense.
Yeah.
Like, healing is the right thing a lot of the time, some of the time, but you're going to start running into situations where tracers just molest you forever because you're not checking them before they get into position. You're not hitting them with a shot to keep them honest, when the tracer's going to the left, or the monkey wants to dive you and you didn't double tap it on its way in while it was coming through the air, etc. You can't just protect yourself with your cooldowns, and when Ana's tend to play super heal heavy against more divey comps, for example, they tend to hoard their abilities for themselves, so their contribution literally becomes just healing, and that's not going to work if the opposing team is getting out discords, is getting in good immortality fields, is getting offensive nades, etc. Right? Like, you're just not helping the offense. And you'll notice, like, it's hard to finish 2 CP. You need some offensive help from your supports to do it with a lot of comps.
Right. Yeah.
See through the dragon's eyes.
Okay. I don't need to be that slow anymore. Sleep him. Okay. Good. Nice little sequence you got here. And I don't know if you did that instinctively, but as you sort of had threats on both doors, you went a little to the center where they couldn't get at you until they came out a little bit. And once they came out a little bit, you moved back to the right. That was good, whether you recognized it or not.
Yeah, I play very defensive. Like, I always look for cover. And...
You say that, but I saw how you approached the choke on King's Row first, so...
Right, yeah. At least I try to be...
No, it's all good. It's my job to, how's it go? It's my job to undervalue to be critical of your successes and to point out your failures. Yeah, there we go.
Thank you. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Attackers incoming. Defend objective.
I'm probably not going to go much into your Moira play here because I've already given you a lot, and there really is a limit to how much you can implement at once. And if you think about 6 things at once, it's not going to be helpful to you. But if I see something that's very transferable, we may talk about it. Okay, so now you just have to force the Covalescence and win the game with Covalescence.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking. Get a fast call and force point.
I understand.
Repairing the damage. 10 seconds remaining.
Healer. Yeah. Okay, not the end of the world.
Yeah.
Obviously, there's micro stuff we can go into, but not the hero we're reviewing, and we'll go over your main points as soon as we finish
Ready for battle.
Okay.
this one.
Ready for battle. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Attackers incoming. Defend objective A.
Okay. Did you know that that was a Genji up there?
I didn't see a widow, so I played a little risky.
Yes, you did. Yes, you did. It's just not worth it. Like I can promise you, it's just not worth it.
Yeah. I tried to scout and a little bit, but yeah.
I mean, you can
Probably
scout.
won't
You
know
can do jump up to see if you see a widow up there. But when that door opens, you need to not be there. How's your lamp use gonna be? A, it wasn't quite far enough out, and B, it didn't fit.
I think it was. I think it got blocked by the phone booth.
Ah, yes.
Yeah. It bounced back a little bit. Yeah, it was unfortunate.
Okay, that's fine. I mean, the match was. I mean, the match was really like you. I'm not going to pretend that this is all your fault, but making the lamp
I
or
could
not
have
making
done
lamp
better.
was the only way we could have stayed in it. Okay, so nice match there. The big things for you are going to be, I do want you thinking about those angles more and how your positioning changes with those angles. You were very good at answering the questions. You understood that hotel spot was good on the end. At the end of first, based on where the enemies were, you understood at third where you should be on King's Row offense. So, like, I want you to actively sort of be checking yourself in games or anytime you die of like, wait, was I playing in the right position where these happened? And that's gonna really be helpful. That's gonna really be helpful, and that I want to be your big thing. Once you feel that you've like 80% got that, and that's sort of been incorporated into your autopilot, like 80% of the way, at that point and only at that point, I want you to go, okay, I'm going to keep that in my mind. I'm going to sort of think about that. But my new real focus is getting more offensive value out of my abilities, and specifically against comps where they can't punish me. So I'm going to forgive you if you hold on to your nade when the enemy team has a tracer. But like if the enemy team isn't running flankers, both of your abilities are there for offensive use, right? Like they're not going to come surprise you, etc. But I don't want you making that focus until you feel like you've 80% locked down the new positioning that we've talked about. Make sense?
Okay. Yes.
Perfect.
Definitely.
Perfect. Okay. Do you have any other questions? Anything that you're like, hey, my understanding of this is loose? Anything where you're going, hey, I didn't understand this? Anything in specific you want?
Well, maybe a little bit about support.
Sure.
Like I feel like if I when I see other people's content and then they talk about how to solo climb and support, like if you can get picks, like maybe like playing like Red and Lucio or
Sure.
like a flank BAP.
So
like,
do you want to know how to do that, Azana, or do you want to know
like-
if it's worth doing? Go ahead.
yeah, right. If it's worth doing.
Okay, so how shall I say this? There's ways to play some heroes that are value, that are probably appropriate when you're actually at that level, and there's some ways to play heroes that are hard carry. And if you really were a GM Ana, you would almost naturally do a lot of the things that would hard carry, right? Like if every tac visor gets shut down by a sleep dart, and if 1/3 of engages, the enemy team has 3 people that are purple right as your team gets to the place where they want to brawl with them, that's going to pretty much hard carry a match as Ana, right? But the thing is, you have to take more risky positioning to do that type of thing, the nades that I'm talking about there, and you just don't have the aim to hit those sleep darts. So, like, with most heroes, the answer is no. Trying to force these things that you're just not there at. Trying to force things a little bit, like, no, I can count on my aim. That can be good. That can be part of how you improve. But no, it's generally not worth it to go, I want to do this Reddit Lucio playstyle, or I want to do this, every single nade I throw is going to be an offensive nade type thing. Like, you can do it if you just want to hard learn how to get good nades, because you'll learn nades real fast that way, though you will lose a lot of SR that way. So, like, that's fine if improving is your goal. But no, if you're going, hey, I want to improve, but I also want to, not kill my mental at the same time by losing 10 matches in a row, it is totally. I don't really recommend Hammond is a good hero that we could talk about this on. Where, if a GM is playing in gold, for example, on Hammond, he's just going to assassinate Zens and Baps and everything all the time, right? That's how he's going to play the hero. But if, a gold Hammond is playing in gold and wants to move up, he can try for those things, but his aim just isn't good enough, right? So it's not really going to work. So we can do that with the right timing. But the other thing that he can do that is probably easier, that is still a skill he needs to learn on the way up, is, hey, be disruptive. Knock, their Reinhardt out of the way when your team is poking at the right moment for your team to then be able to shoot at the back line. Or knock their Reinhardt into your Brawl team without knocking in the rest of the team. Or turn around both of their supports by putting pressure on them while your team is putting pressure on the front line. Like, those things are still skills that Hammond player needs to learn, but do not require the GM mechanics, will say, of, well, I'm just going to assassinate the Zenyatta every time, and I can do that because it's a gold Zenyatta. So, it's not necessarily worth it. And we can say the same thing with Ana. I just pivoted to him because he has an assassination playstyle, and that's a little easier to make the example out of. But you get the same thing with Ana, where it would be hitting those 3-person nades, shutting down those ults with sleep darts, etc. Does that answer your question to your satisfaction?
Yeah.
Okay, cool.
I think,
Cool. Okay. Anything else?
No, I think you covered pretty much everything.
Okay, then it's been nice doing the review for you. If you want another review in the future, you can reach out to me. But I do private coaching for profit at this point. So I'll do first one free sometimes. If you want more, we're going to have to either work out, group discount type thing, or we're going to have to figure out as a one-time thing. But happy doing your review. Good luck to you.
I would definitely like to know more about the future coaching.